these are my top 5 tips for your first gigs. The last 2 have definitely saved my back once or twice, so they're definitely worth staying tuned for. Tip 1. Always bring a spare. I've turned up to gigs in the past, like I've set everything up and gone to turn it on, gone to sing my first note into the microphone and the lead's broken, or the microphone doesn't work, or goodness, there's so many things, like the cable to the PA system doesn't work, the guitar's run out of battery, I've snapped a string, or something like this. All of these things can be fixed if you just bring a spare. Bring a spare microphone, bring a spare lead, bring a spare battery, bring spare strings. You're basically assuming everything's going to go 100% well if you don't bring a spare, and I'm not that confident in any equipment I own. You know, stuff breaks and you need to be ready for it. Tip 2. This is actually after the gig. Check in with the venue and say, hey, was everything okay? Were you happy with the performance? This is good because it shows that you care about how the pub viewed your performance, and also means, like, if you say, hey, I hope everything was alright, is there anything you'd like me to do in the future better? That plants the seed of the fact that they might be booking you again and that they want you again. You'll get some really valuable tips about what these venues want. You'll then be able to take those, add them into your performance, like song suggestions or just the way you present yourself when you're on stage. You can take this to all of your gigs and suddenly you have an elevated performance, and then down the line you'll be able to charge even more. Obviously take it with a pinch of salt. If you think you did a really good gig and they're nitpicking and things, feel free not to ignore it, but it's always good to try and take on board criticism and think from their perspective if what you've done was what they wanted, and if it wasn't, you need to think about why wasn't it what they wanted and how can you make it better. It might not just be what they say, but always be self-critical on your performances and think, right, what did I do well, what did I not do so well, how can I make it better or guarantee that I don't miss that note in the future, or how can I engage more with the audience. Tip 3. Always show up to the gig early. Please don't show up late. You do not want the pubs panicking, thinking, oh no, is the musician going to show up? It just doesn't leave them with a very good feeling, and the likelihood is you won't get rebooked. Turning up early also allows for, if anything does go wrong with your gear or equipment, you have enough time to fix it. You can change a dodgy lead, you can put a new battery in your guitar, you can do a bit more of a sound check and get comfortable up on the stage, because like, I've been doing loads of gigs now, but still sometimes some days you feel more on edge than others. Even though you know you're set, you know you can do the job, you feel more nervous. This allows you just to get more comfortable, ease into the setting, and hopefully do a more confident gig. If you do show up late, obviously that's never good, and the pub's likelihood of rebooking you is very small. Even if you are a phenomenal musician, the best in your town, the best in your area, if you show up late, the likelihood of people wanting to come and see you again or people wanting to book you again is very small. Pubs especially want people to show up and be on time because they've advertised for a certain time. They've said there's music on from 8 until 10. You need to show up and be there from sort of 7:15 until, you know, finish your gig, and then maybe even stay a little bit longer if the pub's okay with that. But be careful because some pubs only have licenses to certain times, but that's a discussion for another day. Last 2 tips are really important ones. Tip number 4, bring a friend or family member or girlfriend, whatever. Having somebody else, number 1, halves the amount of lifting you have to do with all your equipment, because hopefully they'll help you out. And if you're anything like me, you've got mic stands, PA system stands, the PA system speakers, guitar, all the cables, effects pedals, microphones. There's a lot of stuff to carry in. Having somebody else also means you can leave your equipment unattended if you need to repark your car because you just pulled up outside the venue and you need to go and park it somewhere where you can stay more long term. Or even if you just want to go to the toilet or go to the bar on your break, you don't want to leave your equipment unwatched up on the stage sometimes in these pubs. It's just a safety thing, and it sort of acts as a free insurance to make sure that everything is safe. Tip 5. Now I'm sure this helps me get rebooked the most amount of times. Thank the pub and the chefs and the people behind the bar as basically your last statement before you leave any gig. Just say, and can we all give a round of applause for the bar staff as well? They've done a great job tonight, as always. This helps you get rebooked. It also builds a good relationship with you and the pub, and the audience know that you're there and you appreciate being there. It also makes them appreciate the bar staff who have been doing a good job all night, and they wouldn't have had the opportunity to say thank you maybe otherwise. A lot of people don't go out their way specifically to go to the bar staff and say, hey, I really appreciate you for doing your job. Whereas you on stage, you're in a position to control the audience a little bit and say, come on, let's give it up for them because they have done a good job. If you do this everywhere you go, you'll start to get more rebookings, and suddenly you'll find you get to your first 5 pubs really quickly, and you'll just get rebooked and rebooked and rebooked, and you'll be able to find more pubs. Word will spread around town, and before you know it, you'll be taking over the world. Guys, if you found value in today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!